So you were not playing a guitar as a child. You picked it up for the first time as a teenager. Why the guitar?
Well, at first I wanted to be a producer. And I remember telling my pops, like, I think I want to make music. I think I want to make beats. Because you can be behind the spotlight and make a beat for the person in the spotlight.
Right, because your family, the entire family, is musically inclined. Everyone has a talent.
Exactly, yeah. And once I began making beats, a couple of things happened that made me feel like I should be thinking bigger. And then...
Like what?
Like playing the guitar. Like playing the guitar. And so I picked that up at 18.
So did you get lessons? Or you get training? Like how did you, I mean, I know obviously some of it is just in the DNA. Your parents are very talented, but it's still something to it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you how it happened. Like I said, when I was making beats, I felt like I should be doing something bigger, but I didn't know what that was. And down in the dumps, I went to the movies one day and I saw this movie called Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie about Queen and Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
Right. When I saw that movie, I didn't even know what it was about. But once the music began and I discovered for myself classic rock and roll, I forgot all about producing for the most part. And I said, I want to be on a stage and I want to do that. That's when I wanted to be in the spotlight.
Wow.
Know? And I didn't know what instrument I was going to play while I was watching the movie.
Yeah.
But by the time I walked out, I settled on the guitar. And so I hurried up and bought one before I thought myself out of doing it. And then I took lessons once a week.
So what did your father say? What did your mother say?
What did Pop say, man?
Or did you tell him immediately, or did you just start?
I like to do things without telling him, just because, I don't know, he kind of wants you to show him things.
Right,
rather than tell
that makes
things.
sense. That makes sense.
So I wanted to make sure I knew a little bit before I said, hey, I'm playing the guitar. And when I did tell him, I got more of a reaction than when I told him I was making beats. He said, oh, okay. And I can only imagine what was in his mind. Like, okay, beats, guitar, what else are you gonna do?
Right. So I have to say, like, you are totally, and I've listened to your music and looking at you here, you are totally, even though you look obviously a lot like your father, you are giving me mega Jimi Hendrix vibes. And there's kind of a sound there too. Did you study Jimi Hendrix? When you said, I want to do a deep dive in this type of music, who did you start listening to?
First, I started listening to Queen because I saw the movie. Yeah. And they were my introduction into this music. And then I discovered that blues is the root of rock and roll.
Absolutely.
So I started getting into blues, like Muddy Waters, Robert Johnson, Charlie Patton and stuff.
Yeah.
And then Led Zeppelin, which is a mix between rock and roll and deep South blues.
Right.
But Jimi Hendrix came a little bit after I started listening to the blues. And at first I didn't really like him because I didn't understand it. It just sounded like convoluted and it sounded beyond my knowledge.
Wow.
And
that's an honest way to put it, right?
Yeah.
Because between the guitar riffs, the lyrics, I mean, he really would go deep in the zone. And you're right, you do kind of have to be plugged in.
But when I heard him play a blues song, when I heard him play his version of the blues, he got me hooked. I said, oh, what's my version of the blues?
Right, right. So,
I was reading the comments, and a lot of comments was saying that he was zesty, saying that he was part of the Rainbow Gang. And it's just quite odd. I really don't understand how in the black community, if you don't act hard, tough, or have some type of gangster bravado, you don't have a certain type of swag, people call you zesty. People say you are part of the rainbow community. It's like, as a black man, why you just can't have your own thing? You can't have your own happiness. You can't have your own joy. Why do we have to always be hard and mad and gotta have a scowl on our face and look tough? The young brother is doing something that he loved, that he passionate about. You could see it in his face, his voice, his mannerisms. And I feel like that's why a lot of black men die young and die early and go through so much illness, because we're not allowed to just be happy, just being us, doing what we enjoy, doing what we allow. Black folks, let black men and black boys just be happy. Leave us alone. Some of us don't want to be tough, hard, angry all the time. We just want to enjoy life. I'm out.